Hello, I'm replacing the bellows on a Kodak No.2 folding autographic. So I got the old bellows out. What I do is I just cut it and slice it back as far as I can, and same with up front here. I've gone in and loosened the tabs. There's 3 on the sides and 2 each, top and bottom, and pulled the metal base out, and the replacement here 27717, and you can see here that fits, so always check before you get going on it. All right, so this body here is actually more of a steel versus the much older 1A. These were like aluminum, so when you bend those tabs back, they are most likely going to break. But since this is a newer camera and this is somewhat of a better steel, these may survive getting bent. But if they don't, you'll be gluing this back in, like my other video using shoe glue. I showed doing that with the 1A here, which is actually setting up right now. You got some weight in there pushing down on the bellows. So yeah, so we're going to try to just reuse the tabs instead. That way this bellows will be much easier to replace in the future, or if it gets damaged or wore out. So here what you need to do is remove this little keeper here, and it's that's going to hold this plate there, and then pull this off, the rest of the remaining bellows, and then you'll have to drill out the rivets, and we'll get to that here in just a minute. So I'm going to use a spanner here to loosen this locking ring, and we'll get the shutter and lens off. You want to be very careful when you're pushing with the spanner that you're backing it up. So on the back side, you want to have your hand. See if I can. So you want your hand back here holding this, so you're not pushing, and you don't want to bend this here. Okay, I've got the shutter and lens out, so we can see here that what's remaining is to take out these 4 rivets. So the way we're going to drill those out is with a little handheld pin vise like this. You do not want to use any kind of power drill on these. These are actually brass, and if you try to use power, you will blow through there so fast and then possibly risk enlarging that hole. So you need to keep these, just the hole has to stay the same size, so you want to just barely drill out those heads and then pop this plate off. So you can see here I've started drilling, and you can see that turned from black to brass color once the paint's off. It goes fairly quick, and you don't want to rush it and risk damaging the size of the hole. So just go carefully until that head is cut away, and then go all the way around, and then you should be able to start prying that plate very carefully. Don't bend it, but once this edge surrounding part of the head's weakened, it will usually just break away once you try prying that plate off. That way it preserves the hole to be the original size. So I've got the rivets drilled out to where the heads are just about completely gone. I don't want to go too far and enlarge the hole in this metal plate. So now I can take a very thin screwdriver and just go back here, and you can pry the plate very carefully, and you'll see the remnants of the head there start to break. So just slide the the plate back here, and then you can just stick the screwdriver in between there and very carefully start prying. You'll see the head start to disintegrate, and then you can get that whole plate off. So I've got the plate off there, and you can see the holes are still intact, and then the rivets are still inside there. So what you can do is just take a needle nose and just pry that out, and then once you see the head out there, you can just pull it out. Okay, we're going to pop in the bellows. So again, just slide it in, get it below those hinges. Okay, lift it in there. So I'm going to try to do the tabs on this one instead of gluing it. I think these are stronger, so we'll give that a try. So we'll just go through and bend each of those tabs over the metal bottom of the bellows and just work your way around. Usually you do one on each side, and then go opposite corner until they're all done. And we'll do that here. Let's see how that looks. All right, I got the bellows in. All the tabs held as I suspected they would. So the bellows is in. You can see it accordion's in and out appropriately. So now we'll slide this back down. And then we need to punch a hole through here, get through the fabric, and then we'll be able to insert the screws. Okay, so I found out that the screws that I got here, I've gotten for my 1A, and they fit just fine in the factory holes on the 1A, but on the number 2, the holes are slightly smaller. So I am actually drilling out these holes here to be just a little bit larger to accept these, which means I also have to drill out the holes that are in the plate that come with the new bellows. I'm about to attach the bellows to the front plate here. So the screws are number 1 by 3/8 stainless steel. And since the plate holes are kind of hidden behind the edge of the bellows there, you have to push this out and hold it and get a screw in and started. Otherwise you won't be able to get the nuts on back here. So I'm going to get one of those in to hold it in place and then continue on. Okay, all the nuts are on, and I've slid the plate forward. So now what's left is tightening these down. So what I'm having to do here is you have to reach in and grab these nuts with a needle nose, and then around the front side, tighten that up with the screwdriver. Okay, I've got everything tight, and I went and bent those screws over just a little bit to get at them, and then I'm going to nip off the excess with the wire cutters there that'll cut through that small of a bolt. So just this one here I already have cut off. You just want it to be so out of the way so it's not pushing on that bellows. It's not going to rub a hole in that when you close the camera over multiple times. So just cut those, close to the nut there. Okay, I've got the excess screw length all nipped off there. And then I'm going to take some 3M Black Super Weather Strip Adhesive and just put a dab over the nut and screw there just to keep those from backing out. And you could use shoe glue or any kind of fast drying super glue, just anything you might have around, even hot melt glue if you can get it down in there, to just keep those from backing out. And then you want to check for light leaks. You may wind up having to put some of this type of deal in here, or a black caulking of some kind if you wind up having a light leak there. You'll just have to see how that goes. So I'm just going to take a stick here. It's actually a piece of incense, and I'm just going to put some on there and just dab it down in there. And I've got the weather strip adhesive in place down there, and we'll let that dry and then put the lens shutter mechanism on. And next step will be doing a test with a flashlight for light leaks. Even though this is technically a new Bellows, it is new old stock, so it is who knows how old, and we'll need to check that anyway for light leaks. But we'll get it assembled here and just show you the final result. Okay, we're back together. This is a really nice unit here. Unfortunately, the little red window was all brittle and popped out. I'll be making a new one for that, maybe do another video. But this one was unused with the box and instructions. It's virtually pristine. Has the little stylus still for scratching on the autographic film, which is no longer available, of course. I can't get that open one-handed, but yeah, very nice unit. But the Bellows was brittle and had lots of light leaks, so yeah, it went together real well. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial on replacing the Bellows on this. Thanks for watching.